AITA for asking my husband not to go on a trip with a woman who openly flirts with him and feeling betrayed when he did anyway? Hi everyone, I'm a 32F and I've been married to my husband, let's call him Joe, for 8 years, together for 10. In all that time, we've always prioritized each other's emotional well-being. If something hurt one of us, we didn't do it again, no matter what. We valued having a happy spouse more than being right. Because of this, my love and trust for him grew immensely. I was certain he'd never do anything that would break my heart. But here I am, heartbroken and disappointed. Joe owns a company, and we work together. Financially, we're in a great place. Recently, through Joe's father, we got the chance to bid for a major government contract, a massive opportunity. Due to its scale, several companies are teaming up, and one key company involved, without whom the deal won't happen, is led by a very attractive, flirty woman. She's the CEO and has openly flirted with Joe in front of me. We both noticed her behavior, and in order to avoid misunderstandings or conflict, we decided to work on the bid together. Things were okay until one meeting where, during a break, she touched Joe's arm and said something like, "If I had a husband like you, I'd never leave his side. You're someone every woman wants, but sometimes even that's not enough, someone else might steal your mind." I snapped and responded, "I'm not following him, he just never leaves my side." She brushed it off as a joke, but I know it wasn't. I saw the look in her eyes, and women just know. Later, I talked to Joe about it. He admitted she was crossing a line and that he was uncomfortable, but didn't react strongly to avoid jeopardizing the deal. I wasn't thrilled, but I tried to understand. Then today, I found out that I was excluded from a 3-day site visit for the bid, a trip requested by that woman. Only 5 people are going, and Joe is one of them. When I heard, I told him I was extremely uncomfortable with this, and asked him not to go. I begged, actually. I said the deal wasn't worth this. We're financially stable and don't need this contract. But he went anyway. Even after everything I said, he left without me. Something broke in me. I trusted him with my whole heart. I truly believed he'd never choose anything over my peace of mind. Now I feel like he did. He left me behind. And it hurts so deeply that part of me doesn't even care anymore. If he comes back, if he ends up with that woman, I feel numb. A part of me says, come on, 10 amazing years, don't throw it all away. Another part wants to take off my wedding ring, send him a photo, and file for divorce. So, AITA for asking him not to go? And how do I even begin to deal with these emotions? Update. First of all, thank you so much to everyone who shared their thoughts. I wanted to update you on what happened since yesterday. I did something I never thought I'd do. I drove to the place where my husband and his team were staying. Yes, I know, desperate and honestly not like me at all. But jealousy and love can make people do wild things. It was only a 3-hour drive. On the way, Joe kept calling and texting, but I didn't respond. I didn't know what to say, and I didn't want to say something I'd regret later. When I arrived at the hotel, I didn't let him know. Inspired by some of your comments suggesting hiring a PI, I wanted to see things for myself. I just needed to know, if something was happening, I wanted to witness it with my own eyes. When I got there, the group of 5 was sitting together in the lounge. They seemed to be having a good time, Joe included. But importantly, Joe was sitting far from her, so there was no chance of physical contact. He was engaging in the conversation but still texting me non-stop. From afar, he looked like he was chatting with someone, but it was actually me. Please answer me, don't be mad, talk to me. I had planned to just observe. But I couldn't take it. There was a cafe near the hotel, so I went there and messaged Joe to meet me. He showed up smiling and hugged me tightly. I was supposed to be strong, to demand answers, but the moment he held me, I just started crying like an idiot. He comforted me for a while. Then I finally asked the question I should have asked earlier, and many of you pointed out why didn't he bring me along? Not as a team member, but as his wife? He said it was because I was already very upset at how she excluded me, and he thought bringing me might escalate the tension. According to him, he's been handling her flirty behavior by keeping it light and not letting it cross any lines. Joe believes this woman isn't even after him, she's competing with me. He said some people feed off of making others uncomfortable, and she's one of them. She chose you as a rival, he said. It's not about me, it's about her wanting to disturb you to feel powerful. That sounds a bit off to me, honestly. She's a successful CEO. She's already powerful. Still, he insisted that he's been keeping his distance and not giving her any encouragement. He said he didn't think this trip would affect me this deeply, and reminded me that over 10 years, I've seen women hit on him before, but this is the first time someone has gotten under my skin like this. He also opened up about how important this contract is to him. He doesn't want to disappoint his father, and he feels like we might never get another opportunity like this. He asked me to trust him. We went back to the hotel together and had breakfast. To be honest, I am not as angry as I was the day before. I didn't even mention divorce during our conversation. I'm still upset, yes, but the heartbreak I felt has eased. I don't know if it's normal, but the sharp pain has been replaced by a strange calm. Tonight, we'll have dinner together as a group. Update. Hi again, everyone. I wanted to answer a few recurring questions from the comments and also share how the dinner went. First of all, I don't live in the US, and English is not my first language. That's why I write my updates in my native language and use ChatGPT to translate them so they're easier to understand. When I respond to comments directly, I type in English myself, so please excuse any grammar mistakes. As for Joe and me, we've been together for 10 years and have worked together for almost 8 of those. Like any couple, we've had ups and downs, but we've managed to come through without major scars. Joe has gone on many business trips before, often with other women present, and I've never had a problem with that. I'm not someone who panics just because my husband is away on a work trip. We've faced similar situations before and handled them without much issue because we trust each other. But this time was different. As Joe said, maybe it hit harder because this woman was going after me, not him. She was directly trying to get under my skin. And she succeeded. I let my emotions spiral, and things could have gone to a much worse place. I'm relieved they didn't. Joe told me that while my doubts and reactions did upset him a little, he understands why I felt the way I did and doesn't blame me. He said, if I were in your place, I'd feel terrible too, but I never thought you would believe I'd betray you like that. He's right, I was unfair to him on that front. But he also told me he knows how much I've endured for him, and that he'll work on making sure I never feel that way again. And I believe him. Now, about dinner, it actually went pretty well overall. Nobody questioned my presence, and Joe told them he invited me. The woman did make a few passive-aggressive comments, though mostly disguised as jokes. At one point, she said something like, if she weren't always in her husband's shadow, she could be doing so much more. Later, she said I was being wasted in this company and could thrive at a bigger firm. I didn't let it get to me. I smiled and simply said, you seem to have a great eye for people's potential. Some of the others in the group who I already knew actually suggested I participate in the final day of work. But I declined. I didn't want it to look like I was trying to compete with her or prove anything. I told them, I'm just here for Joe and for the fun parts. If we win this bid, we'll have to work with this woman for another 5 years, and that worries me. But I also know we won't be seeing her that often. This contract means a lot to Joe, so I guess I'll have to learn how to live with it.